3, 2, 1. And we're back with another garage beer session. Except this time, we got Joe Dress.
How's it going?
Pretty good. For anyone that doesn't know you, you're one of my best friends. Grew up together pretty much. But we always hunted and fished together and that kind of shit. But you just got into fighting bulls.
Yeah. I think I'm going on to my third year. So 2 years probably fully. Going on to my second year doing rodeos probably.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, because you just started at a practice pen.
Started at a practice pen the year I turned 21. I was 21.
That makes sense. You gotta be. Never mind. You don't have to be drunk to fight bulls, but
my first time, I had a night before.
Yeah, but this is something I thought about. Might have talked about it with Zach, I think, on his, but I remember. I don't know if you remember this. We rode the bus together. For people that don't know, like from middle school on.
Yeah.
But we talked about rodeo one time for whatever reason, and I remember being like, yeah, I'd like maybe try riding bulls or like any of the horse events, like that's whatever, because I had been riding or whatever. But you're like, nah, like I would not do that. I definitely would not get on a bull. You're like, but I'd fight them. And I was just like, that seems like the dumbest option. But I mean, granted, for you versus me, you're way more of an athlete than I am, so that probably helps.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what turned me to be that. I mean, my first rodeo for sure was whenever I was like, that bullfighter's badass, like jumping a ride or grabbing the bull by the head. I was like, that's a sick move right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember whenever I was younger that watching rodeos, like, definitely something that I was interested in. Like, it's badass.
Yeah.
But obviously around here, it's kind of hard to get into.
Yeah, I feel like that's everyone around here. Like, we know enough about it. And, like, it's a rural area, and we're not far from the farm show. So, like, they would have a deal or two a year, but that's, like, pretty much it. Especially till, like, we found Rocky up in McVeigh-town, and then, it's still a bit of a haul from here, like, not compared to rodeo for people, but, like, people in general. Like, it's not, like, there's nothing hometown, really, to go to. So people just we're exposed to it, but there's no good way to get into it, is what I'm trying to say, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, I was definitely, like, I was pretty serious about it for probably a year before I really even, like, got to a pen to fight. Like, it's definitely harder. Like, you got to talk to a lot more people around here.
Yeah.
If you don't know someone already doing it, like, you're going to be looking.
Yeah. No, that's how it was for me, pretty much. And I was even, like, in the horse world and stuff, at least. But till I, like, met Rooster and he was going down to Rocky Ridge, like, didn't even know Rocky Ridge was a thing. But, so how'd you find the practice pen or whatever?
Well, you knew Rooster for how long? Quite a few years before he even started doing it.
Yeah, I knew him before he was rodeoing.
And, he got you guys into it. And then, I met Rooster. And one time I just asked Rooster, I was like, hey, how do I become a bullfighter? And, he told me, he's like, I've been going to Mike Smith at Rocky Ridge. And, he puts on a bull school. Whenever that comes around, see if he'll give you a chance to fight. And it was probably like the week before the bull school. They text me. He's like, hey, you want to fight bulls? I'm like, yeah.
Sure.
I'm like, sure. But that's whenever it was a 2-day school, and we had that clay shoot that we just went to.
Yep.
My first year there. We had that on Saturday, so I just went to the second day, and that was my first time fighting bulls. And I shot my first gap that day, and ever since then hooked. Like, heart's pumping. Yeah, like pretty much the feeling of you just about died, and something like that.
It's that feeling you get when you're up on a rock looking for a rattlesnake and you hear one buzz.
So yeah, pretty much just anything that, like, the risk of death is there, but you're gonna come out alive on the other side.
Yeah. And for people that don't know, we do a little bit of rattlesnake hunting too. You do a bit more. But I don't know, that just makes me think. I remember the first time that I was with you that we found snakes. It was like that exact deal I'm saying. You're up on this big flat den rock, and one starts buzzing, and you end up grabbing one, and you're yelling at me to get over there because there was a copperhead with it too, I think. And I get over there and couldn't get the copperhead, but you're standing there with this snake, and you're literally bouncing on top of this rock. Like, you're getting closer to the edge, like you're going to fall off, just vibrating from all the adrenaline. But, yeah, it just makes me think of that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's somewhat comparable.
Just that adrenaline rush.
Yeah, something about it makes you fall in love.
Yeah. That's kind of the thing, I think, especially with rodeo. I mean, I've done podcasts with different Western disciplines and stuff, but even like being on the back of the buck and shoots with a horse loaded and they're playing the national anthem and they're banging around in the chute, or even more when you're climbing down. Like Zach talked about this too. Like, I'm in the same boat. Like, I like one that kind of fights in the chute just because it gives a place for all that adrenaline to go, because you're just cranked up. But it's that whole thing. Like, I don't know why anyone would do it otherwise. Like, it's literally just, it's like a high.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, see, I'm the opposite as a bullfighter. Like, I see one banging around in the chute, and, like, in the back of your head, you about to get fucked up.
You're like, oh, no.
It's like, that bull's going to come out, and he's going to throw that rider, and he's probably coming for you.
You like the ones that don't really want it, and you can kind of hop in there and be like, hey.
Yeah.
And just turn them, and then you're chilling.
I mean, the means one are what makes you really fall in love.
Yeah.
Yeah, making a round on one and coming out, same thing, coming out on the other side.
Yeah.
It's, a rewarding feeling.
Yeah. So, up to this point, at least, you've just done, like, cowboy protection stuff?
Yeah. Every now and then. So I started fighting down at Red Eye. I found out about Red Eye after I started fighting up at Rocky Ridge. And every so often, they breed them down there, too. They just, they have new groups of 2-year-olds getting their first rider trips coming up. And, they'll let you do a little freestyle on them. But as far as that goes, yeah, pretty much only cowboy protection.
Yeah. Are you looking to do any?
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I've been looking into it, but no one around here really has the Mexican fighting bulls that you can really freestyle.
Yeah.
It's either you go jump in a competition or try to freestyle a bucking bull.
Yeah. Yeah, I just know you said about bulls, bands, and barrels.
Yeah.
Trying to get in there.
That would be fun, but yeah, it's nerve-wracking. But, your first freestyle fight, you're in front of a couple thousand people.
That's what I thought about. I was like, man, that'd be rad, but also, I don't know if that's the spot to try freestyle really for the first time.
Yeah, I looked into it, and I definitely could get into it, but I definitely should get the practice before I just go throw myself in there.
Yeah. Have you looked into trying to find any schools for it? Like a Cody Webster school or something? I mean, you'd have to travel for it, but...
I did, so he only does them, every, twice a year, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you sign up for a text alerts, and I did that, and I haven't gotten anything for that yet, but
Yeah.
that's definitely something I've looked into.
That'd be rad just to go out for, though.
Yeah.
Especially if you can find someone to haul your camera out there and record a lot of it. Some sweet video.
Yeah. But that's it. Everyone that I've known that's gone to a school like that, well, I think Austin Ganley that I fight with at Rocky Ridge, I think that's where he went.
Yeah.
I think he went to Cody Webster School.
He's another one I should have on, honestly.
Yeah, he's good.
He's legit.
Yeah, I was just with him down at J Bar last night.
Yeah.
And that was a good time. We had, I don't know if you know John Fuller, but arguably the best bullfighter in the Northeast right now.
Oh, yeah.
And both of them just hands, and being able to fight with them, it's just the cool shit they can do with the bull. And, you know, they drive you to really work.
Yeah.
Yeah, like last night was like a good night where I left there high on my horse.
Yeah. Fired up about it.
Uh-huh. I'm like, man, where's the next one?
I'm sure it helps a lot, too, to be around, like, some guys that are legit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Versus just someone that's like, yeah, I'll strap a vest on and, you know, maybe try to save you if you're hung up.
Oh,
know?
yeah. And everyone that I know that's gone to a school like that, like, it's honestly what you need to take you to the next level of bullfighting. Is everyone I've talked to, they go fight Mexicans and then they come back and, you know, cowboy protection, and they say it's like, yeah, everything's so fast whenever you're freestyling that the bucking bulls, it's just slow motion.
Yeah.
So that's, I've looked into it. They just had one this past weekend that I didn't know about till like 2 days before. So
Yeah. The stuff I've heard about guys, like, whatever, talking about, you know, what they like better, what they think each one's good for. Like, I've heard that they play into each other a lot. Like, if you're, the better you get at one, the better you're going to be at the other. So.
oh yeah. Yeah, them, like Wyatt Feezer, he just moved down to Texas on Dalen Swearingen's ranch. That's rides in the Unleash the Beast in the PBR. But he went down to Frank Newsom's school, and he came back. Well, he got injured down there, but once he came back from injury, just insane.
Yeah.
The work he can do on a bull.
Yeah.
Like, just an animal.
Yeah.
Now. So, yeah, definitely something I'm going to look into for the future.
Yeah.
But
have you seen that video? I don't know. It was probably like a month or so ago now I saw it. But those two guys freestyling, and the one dude was he was on all fours, like hands and knees, and the other dude's like on top of him, standing on his back, and they cut that Mexican out, and it comes hauling, like head down. The top dude jumps, bottom dude just hits the deck, and the bull just splits him.
Uh-huh.
I was like, that, I don't know. I'm like, that just seems stupid, but that was so freaking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot you can do. I've seen some crazy stuff out there in the bullfighting world that.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but he like had his back turned on the ground with his cell phone, just like recording a video, but watching the video, and he jukes him from his knees with his back turned on the ground. I was like, what part of that seems like a good idea, dude? Like,
adrenaline.
But that's what I'm saying. I think it takes a different human to do that. But I guess depending on who you are, you probably feel like you have more control on your feet than like if you were on the back of one.
Oh yeah, that's what a lot of people ask me. They're like, why don't you ride them? Like, why do you bullfight? And I'm like, honestly, like, on the back, once you're thrown off, chances of you landing on your feet.
If you're anything like me, the chances are zero.
Yeah.
I'm landing on my head, dude.
I'm like, I'm starting on my feet. Like, my first move is, stepping into it. Like, I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
If that bull comes out cranking, he launches you. You could lose sense of direction pretty quick.
Yeah.
But if I started rodeoing earlier, I probably would have rode more. But now that I'm getting a little older, I think it's just a little easier for me to fight.
Yeah. So you done getting on? You got on one. I couldn't believe that, dude. I opened Snapchat from was it a bull school?
No, it's just a practice pen up at
practice
Rocky
pen?
Ridge.
And it's freaking Joe Dress climbing down in the chute on one. I was like, what is going on, dude?
Well, the funny thing about that bull is the kid that was supposed to get on him broke his fibia, I think, and his leg, or fractured it, just cracked it.
Yeah.
But he climbed down, and I don't know if he put his spurs into him or what, but that bull bucked in the chute, and it's just a steer.
Yeah.
But it bucked, and it messed his leg all up. And everyone else had already rode 2-3 bulls, and that's like the max for most guys. But I think they're like just gonna turn him out, and I was like, give him to me. So I climbed down there in my cleats and shorts.
That's funny. Yeah.
I took someone's helmet and bull rope, and I got on him. And I mean, like, it was fun. It was a new adrenaline rush, though, too. Like, I've never been on the back of a bull like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a steer, but still.
Yeah. You rode him pretty good from what I remember of the video.
Yeah, I probably got 4 seconds out of him.
Yeah. But, so one and done on that?
Yeah, probably. The soreness I felt after that was pretty crazy. Like, just my inner thighs, my arm.
Yeah.
I landed on my feet though, so like I didn't hurt nothing falling, but
Yeah.
just like you don't realize how hard you're squeezing until you're done, and you're like, your legs are on fire, like your arms on fire. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I always thought it was funny. I don't know if Timmy listens to this one, he might be mad about me saying it, but anyone that knows Timmy, like, he's a gym rat, like, he's jacked. I remember, I don't know, early on in college, we lifted at like Planet Fitness sometimes. We're at Planet, and we're on the adduction machine, like the squeeze your legs together, and he's got, I don't know, like half the stack, but he's like squealing about it, like, this is so bad. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like slamming them together, and I just dropped down, put the whole stack on, because I mean, you're like, that's a muscle not most people like use, but riding all the time, I was just like, dude, like, what are you talking about? It was like the one lift I could beat him on, and it's probably like the stupidest lift to be proud of, but I was like, yeah, that's right. But yeah, I don't think, if you don't ride or whatever, like, you don't realize those muscles are stuff you don't really use. But
yeah. So, yeah, I was hurting from that for probably about a week.
Yeah. That's hilarious, dude. But so what's the goal going forward? I know you got a bunch of rodeos lined up for this year.
Yeah.
It's honestly kind of impressive. I don't know, I've talked to other guys, and everyone's like, dude, it's kind of wild that like you like weren't into this kind of stuff. I mean, you like you said, like, you're into it, but you weren't like part of it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like you just like hopped in, and like a year later you're fighting at rodeos, and like the next year you like got like a full schedule for the summer,
Yeah, I'm pretty busy this summer, but my goals going forwards is just make it as far as I can, really.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it's far shot, but PBR, NFR, like, that's the goal. I think anything short of that, I should just put it away. But
yeah,
I feel like that's anyone's goal in rodeo. It should be go as far as you can until your body can't take it, or
rodeo tells you it's done with you.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I hate to tell people give up on your dreams, but if you're not good.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. Just like, I don't know, your goal should be high, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And they might change going on, like, as you go, like, maybe you're, especially in like other events or whatever, you're like, okay, like, I'm probably never gonna be able to commit to like fully hauling to try to make the NFR or whatever and stuff like that, but like, hey, I'm gonna run my little local circuit or whatever and make the AMI finals, like, whatever. But, and especially when it comes to like the rough stock events, like, you got to be serious about it.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's why I hung it up, because I'm like, dude, I don't think this is actually what I want to do. I'm doing it because I want to be a cowboy, but like, there's kind of other ways to do that. and I'm gonna get myself killed.
Yeah, that's definitely for the rough stock part. Like, you know, the risks are very high if you don't plan to make a living. Like, if you're not willing to give up everything for it, like, maybe it's not for you. But yeah,
I don't know. To me, it's a tough conversation to have with yourself, to be like, why am I really doing this? Like, am I doing it because I want to be perceived as one way, or am I doing it because I love it type deal? Which is like hard too, because you do love parts of it, even if you're not like all in on it. But yeah, I don't know if that makes sense, what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it makes total sense.
So you also mentioned to me that like the backup plan, you might start clowning.
Yeah, I mean, like, it'd just be another way to stay into rodeo, and like, I'm still out there. I mean, not every clown does it, but I see some clowns, you know, hang up, you know, bad wreck, knocked out, whatever. You know, clown gets in there.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind doing that every once in a while if, you know, I get too old, beat up or something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, clown has definitely been a thought.
That's something I feel like we should talk about, too. For people that don't know, because there'll be a bunch of people that aren't like really in or around rodeo that listen to this, but like I feel like everyone thinks that the clowns are the fighters. Like, people don't know the difference, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I that's how I was before. I'm like, oh, like the clowns and the bullfighters are the same thing. But they're like you said, there's some clowns that might hop in there and try to like work a hang up or something if it's bad, but that's not their job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you want to explain that to people?
So honestly, if I know someone knows nothing about rodeo, I just say I'm a clown to make things short, because that's what everyone thinks.
Because that's what you are. Just kidding.
Yeah. But no. No, people that don't know nothing about rodeo, I just say I'm a clown, and then I elaborate and say, actually, I bullfight.
But yeah, saying you're the clown, they get the idea of what you're doing.
Yeah. But, you know, bullfighters, they're protecting, and the clown's in the barrel, in his shielded barrel.
Yeah. Although, dude, I don't want to get in one of those things either.
I was going to ask Mike Smith if I could climb in one and let one hit me, because I want to know what it's like to get tumbled around in one.
Okay, I shouldn't say that. I think it would be fun, but also I think you're getting rocked if you're in one of those.
Oh, definitely.
Like,
well,
it's not exactly a comfy place to be.
Well, so I did a rodeo down in Collegeville, my first Zebra ever, down in Collegeville, Pennsylvania, down towards Philly. And Dave Showtime Meyer, he was the clown, the barrel man. And I think it was the night before that he was in a barrel, and he has an aluminum barrel. And it's light. It's light. And a bull rocked it, sent him end over end like 6 times. And he showed up to the rodeo, had this big goonie on his head because he got tumbled in there. Yeah. Like, it's definitely not the safest place to be, but it's probably safer what I'm doing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess the big difference is the clown's job, he's an entertainer. He's there for the crowd. And, you know, if there's like a slow point in the rodeo or whatever, he's kind of going back and forth with the announcer, cracking jokes, trying to keep the crowd engaged, you know, whatever. But the bullfighters are there, they're cowboy protection. Like, they're there to keep the competitors safe, basically.
Yeah. Well, I think it came from, I think they're all considered rodeo clowns back whenever, before even like the PBR, because they all used to dress up, full face makeup, all that stuff, and that's whenever they're all rodeo clowns. But
back when the chutes were made of wood and the men were made of steel.
Yeah, exactly.
As they say.
Exactly. You look at videos from 40 years ago or so. I don't know, but it's a whole different game. There's been a lot of advancements in rodeo since then.
Yeah, just like specialization, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I think that'd be cool. See a clown a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm definitely not there yet. I definitely need to.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather watch you fight at like the PBR, NFR or something like that. But it'd be cool, just like
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
be like an older fart. Just be like, yeah, how's
that's-
everyone doing tonight?
that's plan B. If I don't bullfight in the PBR, is to clown in my local circuit.
Nice. But dude, that's too funny. Like, well, if that doesn't work out, I can always clown.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, we can pivot off that, and if you have any advice for someone if they want to fight bulls. I mean, you're still kind of new into it, so
Yeah,
but
but
you've already,
yeah,
gone far, in my opinion, for just being as new as you are.
I've helped quite a few people get into even bull riding, but bullfighting too. For Pennsylvania or East Coast even, I'd say look up Red Eye Rodeo. They buck just about every Monday night, but all across the country or even internationally, I'd just look up on Facebook or Google bull riding practice pens, bull riding schools, or even if you just look up any kind of circuit and you find a stock contractor, call them, ask them if they have any bull schools or once I got into it, I kind of realized like it wasn't as hard as what I was making it.
Yeah.
Like if I just would have known about the APRA or SEBRA, because you look up APRA or SEBRA, you go on their website, you can find a whole list of stock contractors and find the closest one to you, give them a call, say, when's your next practice pen or bull riding school, or even up at Rocky Ridge, before I even bullfought, I bullfought their school, but they were already booked with bullfighters. I just went and helped them during rodeos. And that, I feel like that helped me get my place. Yeah. Just being there, helping out.
Yeah.
Because then they looked at the next guy in line. And they're like, oh, this guy helped us out all year.
He's been showing up. He seems like a decent dude.
Yeah.
He's been around the stock, hasn't majorly messed anything up yet. So, yeah, I think, I mean, for what you were saying, you don't know what you don't know. So, I mean, that's kind of the idea behind a lot of the podcasts is people don't know what they don't know. So, try to put information out, and there's so many people that are interested in it, but it's kind of hard to figure it out on your own. And then just being willing to put yourself out there and reach out to people, and it's all about those connections, like you said. Message people. The worst thing they say is no, or hey, I'm good. Yeah. But a lot of them, they're not going to tell you can't come. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, well, I got guys fighting already, but like, hey, if you want to hop in there, like, just go watch the guys that know what they're doing. You can learn from that.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's that same deal. Like, you're there. Like, they know who you are. Start to get your name out there. They recognize you. Like, you're showing up. You'll get a shot at some point.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's exactly how Red Eye Rodeo went. I met Austin Ganley just going up to work at Rocky Ridge. And I asked him where he was practicing or whatever. He's like, Red Eye Rodeo. They buck just about every week. And I messaged them on Facebook. I was like, hey, do you guys let bullfighters come and practice or whatever? And they asked me how where I fight and all that stuff. I was like, oh, I've fought up at Rocky Ridge a couple times. And they told me I could come take tips from some of the experienced guys there. Well, I showed up. My first time showing up, there was me and one other bullfighter. And the other bullfighter was not much more experienced than me.
Yeah.
It was like a sink or swim situation, and I was crapping my pants that day.
Yeah.
New bulls, and I almost got their pens set up different. They're out gates on the very end of all the chutes, and I'm used to it being in the middle, like all up at Rocky Ridge, all the other rodeos I've seen. And I stepped in front of this hot bull right in front of the out gate when it swung open, and I about got my lunch ate.
Yeah, just nowhere to go.
Yeah, I made it out, but
Yeah.
that was my first experience at Red Eye.
Should you give everyone the tip to learn to Rambo roll? I don't know if this is actually a good tip or not.
I mean, it's worked out for me every time, but I've learned, you learn to fall. Like, if you're tripping up, don't just take it to the face. Don't just fall flat. Like, try to roll and keep your momentum up. I mean, it's hard to explain.
Just Rambo roll. That's what it is. If you're falling, just tuck and dive and roll.
Yeah.
That's the way I took it when you were telling me about it. But.
Yeah, I was telling Isaac this story the other day, but there was this. He's had like probably 10 rider trips on him, but it's a muley, and he would not go out the out gate, and he was bluffy. Like you could run by him, you could run by him at like 6 feet, but he wouldn't care. He'd just like look at you, huff puff. Like, he would not come at you till your hand was 5 inches from his head.
Yeah, just kind of froze up, but wouldn't leave the arena.
Yeah. So I went at him, and he started coming after me, and I don't know if he nudged me or if I just lost my footing, but I was going down, and the only way I got out of there was tucking and rolling.
Just dive, hit your feet again, keep going.
Yeah.
But, man, I had a thought I was going to pivot to, and I totally lost it.
I feel like there's more to elaborate on here.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have any good wreck stories, or have you taken a hooking yet?
Yeah, I've never been like a highlight wreck yet.
I have not.
Where is wood for me to knock on?
There's cardboard. It's close enough. You haven't made rodeo wrecks yet?
Yeah. Then look for me on rodeo wrecks in the next week. I
fucked up.
Yeah, I just screwed myself by saying that. But yeah, no, my first experience finding myself between a bull's horns was like, so I made this round, but the bull was like, I mean, he's hooky, but not like super, he's bluffy. And so I made like this kind of round, but then he kind of hesitated for a second. So like, I just kind of like let off the gas, and then he just charged, and I'm like, shit. I stuck my hands out, and he just put me flat on my back. He ripped my shorts just about right off me. Like, my shins were all skinned up. Like, that was probably about the eye opening. I was like, all right, either commit to this or get out.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know. I just you see so many videos of like bullfighters just like jumping in there, and I mean, knowing they're getting hooked, and they just like give them a butt cheek, dude, and get launched into the rafters, and I'm just like, I'm good.
Yeah, it's definitely nerve-wracking because there's a lot of I don't bag on the new guys for not taking the hooking, but after a while, like, either you gotta take that hooking or you're not.
Yeah,
you're not gonna.
I feel like that's another thing too. Is like, there's got to be a learning curve on taking a hooking too. You know what I mean? Like, knowing when you're not going to be able to get out of it, and knowing the best way to just
take it. Oh yeah.
Like I said, those guys are just like, they're like, all right, if I hop in here, I'm just going to get hooked under my leg and get sent up in the air type deal, versus get hooked down and danced on.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, there comes a time where you can really slow it down a little bit and realize like you'd rather take it from the back than take it in the back than to the chest. But
I mean, that sounds bad, but I feel like it's not that far off. I think it was a Dale Brisby podcast I was listening to the other day, and I can't remember who the bullfighter was, but he was talking about guys he knows that had to get surgery on a part that no one wants surgery on, from a horn finding a hole. I guess is the best way to say that. So, but he mentioned he wears a pad back there to kind of prevent it.
Yeah, I should definitely get back into the practice of that, because there comes a point where whenever I first started fighting, I was wearing pretty much just about every pad I could. Like I was wearing my bullfighting shorts, like from TK. They have padding on the inside, but it's a hard plastic shell on the outside, just so if like a bull isn't tipped, or like just freshly cut and they didn't, so it's not going to penetrate that. But I kind of got away from it because I've been kicked in my pads, and it does not feel like it saves you at all. So it's like, what's the point of restricting mobility?
Yeah.
But definitely been a thought to get back into the practice.
Dude, when I listen to that, I'd be like, I would buy one right now if I was. I'd be like, where do I find this? But yeah, you've seen any other good wrecks, or you had to work any hang-ups or anything like that? That's still something that I'm like, that just seems...
The hang-up is probably what makes or breaks the bullfighter.
I would agree. Like that's probably like the worst spot, really, for everybody.
Oh, I mean, you have to pretty much put yourself... you don't have to jump on the back of it, but like ride it. But
you're getting on that thing.
Yeah. Like... I'd say that's what makes or breaks a bullfighter, and I think that's one thing I learned from, because like after my first time bullfighting, it was Dylan Cullen that like pretty much taught me how to bullfight, and I asked him, how'd you get into it? What'd you do? Like, and he told me, all he did for like 6 months was watch bullfighting videos. So I went home, watched the video, and that was like it was Cody Webster's bullfighting school, his series, and that was his one thing, was the hang up. Like whenever it hangs up, you can't focus on anything else. Like you're not looking at the horns, you're not looking at the butt end of the thing. Like you gotta focus on that hand, and that's what you shoot for. And 9 times out of 10 you're gonna make it there if that's what you're shooting for.
Yeah,
I mean, the odd chance you timed it up wrong, you get the kick, you get the horn. But ever since then, that's what really changed my hang-up game, is you look at that hand and you shoot for it, you get there.
Yeah. But you don't do have you ever seen that Dale Brisby video? One of the interns gets hung up and he like jumps on the head, like he's going to try to throw it, and he's just getting bobbed along with this thing.
Honestly, like that doesn't, I mean, like I'd probably never do that, but like it probably doesn't help, because like that's part of the job, is whenever there's a hang up, you want someone on the head trying to like line it out.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty hard to jump in on a spinning bull. Yeah. And it is like a bull that's...
Well, yeah, and if you get one lined out like that, the rider can get to their feet at least. Mm-hmm. And then they're in there too, trying to get like work their hand, versus when they're just getting spun around like a rag doll.
Yeah.
But
yeah, no, my first hang up, we didn't have any up there at Rocky Ridge, but it was a couple times I've been down to Red Eye, and then my first hang up came, and like that was like, you see that hang up come, and you kind of crap your pants. It's like,
oh shit,
I gotta get in there.
Yeah.
But like my first time working a hang up, I did pretty good. I got to the tail. It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
But I got in there. I was like, all right.
Have you had to deal with any like bareback guys getting hung up?
No.
That's something I've always wondered about. Like, I've seen it multiple times, but I feel like it's tough. Like, I don't really know if that's supposed to be your guys' job. I know guys try to help, but also,
hang up.
Yeah, but also you got a bareback horse hauling ass around. You got both pickup men, like, working their ass off to try to get in there. So you got 3 horses just whipping around.
Mm-hmm. And
I'm like, I don't know what you can do, really.
Yeah. I mean, like, I've fought with some bullfighters where, they're like, yeah, I'm getting in on that.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I'm not sure. Like, is that part of the job description, or is that just some guys like they're like, oh shit, that dude's in a bad way. I'm gonna try to get in there because that's just how they are.
Yeah. So I've never been told by like a stock contractor or anything, or like I've never been told by another bullfighter like, you know, you better be in there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something. Some guys are like, yeah, go for it. Yeah, I don't know. Like bareback hang-ups.
Dude, they're the ugliest. They're the ugliest thing in the world. Like
they're different.
I think I'd rather be hung up on a bull than hung up on a bareback horse.
Definitely.
They're ugly.
Yeah. Well, I've only ever seen, honestly, Zebra, that all they are is bulls and barrels.
Yeah.
That's Southern Extreme Bull Riding Association and Barrel Riding Association, I think is what Zebra stands for. Something like that. But so I never have to worry about it there. But up at Rocky Ridge, every once in a while they get the bareback. But yeah, honestly, I've only ever seen one bareback hang up, and he came out pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say so CPYRA, that's another thing. If you're young and listening to this, you want to get into rodeo. CPYRA, Central Pennsylvania Youth Rodeo Association. It's down at Red Eye. They run it. But there, I swear all them kids either, I don't know if they get white-knuckled where they get bucked off and forget to let go, or if they're just trying to make the ride and add that much rosin, but that is the most hang-ups I've ever worked.
Yeah.
Like, I've worked pro deals. You know, some of those guys get hung up, but at the youth rodeos, them kids, I don't know what it is, but they always hang up.
Taking suicide raps or something.
Yeah, I don't know. They just always hang up. And
watched one too many JV Mooney videos. Or like, the only way to get me off is to stomp me into the ground.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're going to get your bullfighters killed, but that's all right. Yeah, it's kind of a interesting relationship there, I feel like, between the bull riders and the bullfighters. I don't know, trying to keep everybody safe, but you kind of hope those guys are looking out for you guys too. But
yeah. Oh, it's always a little like, I don't know, maybe heartbreaking is the way to see where, yeah, as a bullfighter, you're always watching how the guy's wrapped, because like that's good. You want to know what hand, like if they make the ride, you know, you want to try to spin the bull the other way so they can get off into their hand.
Yeah.
You know, if they're left hand, the bull's spinning left, you don't want them jumping into the well. So you're going to try to pick them, bring them back to the right, so they can get off, get out, and you can keep that bull in the spin. But yeah, so they can get out away from their hand. But anyway, it's kind of heartbreaking whenever you see them do that, like suicide rap, some people call it, but like split their pinky, like even I've seen some guys do some crazy stuff where they split 2 fingers,
weaving it the whole way through your hand.
Unnecessary stuff, but I mean, if you're really, really about it, you want to drag to death instead of hit the ground. But
that's what I mean. That like, I mean, you're not going to overpower a bull, but and I don't know if they have like an injury or something that like it makes it harder for them to hold on or something. But still, like, you're asking to get yourself jacked up, and you're putting your bullfighters in a really tough spot.
Yeah.
Especially if you just are prone to hanging up. Some people definitely are.
Yeah, there's a couple guys where it's like you see them come up and it's like, all right, be ready to get in there.
Yeah. Do you know the difference between like American and Brazilian ropes? I really don't. I should have asked Michael about it when he was on, but like you hear different people talk and like, oh, like people hang up way more with a whatever. Yeah.
So, I never rode bulls. I was never a bull rider. I just rode a bull. But
bull getter honor, baby.
So I know Americans. So I guess the block is switched. Like the block is one way or the other, and like on the Americans is like that's what creates the hang up is your hand like rolls and your hand's against the block. So it's like you can't open,
wedge tight,
and you can't open. Your hand's not going to slide. So I guess that's the point of a Brazilian, is it's on the other side, and the Americans are also dead center on their spine pretty much, and the Brazilians are kind of like offset to the side you right. Like if it's left-handed Brazilian, it's going to be offset. Like your pinky's going to be on the middle of that bull's back to the left.
Yeah,
is as far as I know. And then whenever you buck off, your hand's gonna slide away from the block or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
There's more room for you to get it out.
Yeah. So the Brazilian hang-ups are a lot less common, but a lot of stock contractors hate them, I guess, because you can really cut down on the bull. Like it really tightens them up.
Yeah.
And, I guess they can't buck as good.
I've seen that. I've seen it with horses too. Like guys pull down really, really, really snug, and the horses just have a terrible trip when they're pulled that tight. But I'm sure it depends on the animal too. I mean, that's all the things. You're just being around Rocky, like they're always trying to figure out like how different things like to be flanked or whatever, and like, hey, this one likes a looser flank, or like, hey, you need to cut this thing in half for it to really buck. But
yeah. Oh yeah, there's one time down at Red Eye, these guys came up. I don't know where they're from, but I guess he was taught in the way of, it's called soaking the bull, where, whenever right before you get on, you put your rope on him. Before you even get in it, you tie it tight just to try to wear him out, and then whenever you get on, you really sink her tight, and you take as much time as you can till they make you buck pretty much. And they pretty much forced that guy out of the chute because...
I was going to say, I don't know any stock contractor that would like that guy.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were yelling at him. They're like, this guy's like far from nodding, still off his rope, and he's back there. He's like, you got 3 seconds to go. And they pretty much forced him out of the chute.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's as far as I know about bull ropes. I wish that's the thing about me being a bullfighter. I have a lot of newer bull riders come to me about questions about bull riding, and I'm like, dude, I don't know.
Dude, I'm in the same boat. Like, if people ask me, or like, especially being around like Rocky a little bit, and like I'll be helping in the back pens or whatever, and someone will be like, hey, can you help me put my rope on? I'm like, bro, I'm the wrong guy. Like, if someone needs help putting a saddle on a horse or whatever, like, yeah, like, been on enough broncs that like I can help you do that. But like, I got on 2 bulls and I had people put my rope on both times. I don't have a clue. Like, not at all. But yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a weak area, but also then again, I was never really going for a cowboy title. I just think fighting bulls is fun.
Yeah. I feel like that's fair too. Like, and I think, I don't know, outside perspective from where I'm at with stuff, like, I'd rather someone be that way, you know what I mean? Like, instead of trying to like put a label on that you're not, you're just like, no, dude, like, I'm just this, and I'm cool with that. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I forget. I can't remember if this was on a podcast. It might have been with Skip, like the Rocky Ridge one, where he's like, hey, like, yeah, it's fine. Like, if you just ride bulls, like, that's fine. You're a bull rider. Like, if you're, maybe you don't do all the events, but you do a couple of events or whatever. You've tried a bunch of stuff. Like, you can rope, you can ride a horse. Like, maybe you ride bulls mostly, but like, all right, you're a cowboy then. Like, you can kind of claim the title. I still think it's never a thing that you like call yourself one. Like, you can know you're one, but that's a title that I feel like other people give you. But you need to be able to do a handful of things.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But I mean, realistically, it's a job title. So unless you're making a living punching cows, I don't know if any of us are. But
yeah, that's it. I just kind of feel dumb going around rodeo, and people ask me these questions, and I just look at them like, I'm a bullfighter. I don't.
That's perfect though. You're like, dude, I'm just a bullfighter.
I was like, I just showed up here to run around these angry cattle, and that's all I'm here to do.
Yeah. But unless you have anything else, might try to pivot this a little bit. Kind of a conversation. We've had it, and I've had it with a handful of people. And there's a bunch of guys, after the first episode, they're like, dude, you should do like a hunting spinoff. Like, you need to do a hunting podcast too. And they're like, you can get Joe on. He'd be perfect. And I was like, yeah, I was probably going to have him on already at some point. Just, because you're fighting bulls and fucking grew up with you. So it'd be easy to do. But I feel like there's a huge crossover from like the Western industry and all that and hunting. I feel like just about everyone that's in the Western industry, discipline, whatever, especially if they are like more like ranch cowboy or like cowboy versus like, I don't know, just a bull rider. It sounds horrible. I'm gonna get a bunch of hate from bull riders.
Yeah.
But like everyone hunts to some extent, seems like there's a huge crossover there. I don't know if you just want to talk to that at all, or if we just want to share some friggin' hunting stories, or
I mean, like, I don't know. I don't really have any crossover experiences. I mean, like,
I don't know if there is any like that, but
for me, not.
Oh, I know what we need to talk about. That video from Arkansas of them two boys on horses racing to a duck hole.
Oh, man.
Dude, that was the coolest freaking video I've ever seen. I was like, we got to do this. And that was fresh off, because that's something else we should talk about. You just went to Arkansas this year and did some duck hunting out there, and we got to make it happen. Or we got to hunt somewhere else, because Pennsylvania sucks for waterfowl. And if you're listening to this and you're from Pennsylvania and you think duck hunting's cool, it's not. Don't ever do it. Duck hunting's really lame. And you should not get into it.
And we're gatekeeping that.
Oh, for sure, dude. Everyone should get into the Western industry, Western sports, freaking whatever discipline. Go ride some horses, go get on some bulls, go fight some bulls. You do not need to duck hunt. Duck hunting is really lame, and no one should do it.
We need more cowboys, no more duck hunters.
Yes, dude, exactly. Duck hunting's not cool. Being a cowboy's cool. Everyone should be a cowboy. You don't need to get duck hunting.
Yeah.
But for anyone that hasn't seen the video, I'm going to share it on my Instagram when we post this. I have the video saved from somewhere. It was all over Instagram for a little bit.
Oh, yeah. It was, it went viral.
Yeah.
I think just any big duck hunting.
Pretty much shared
big
it.
Duck hunting group shared it. But,
and I don't know if you know this stuff out there better since you were out there to talk to it, but it's all these guys lined up, and it must be like, hey, at like X time in the morning, you guys can go to your duck holes or whatever. And it's public land.
Yeah.
First come, first serve, basically. And you must not be able to get to it by boat, because there's guys that race to duck holes on boats down in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. So, it must be walk-in, nothing motorized, because there's no vehicles or whatever. No one on like quads or anything like that. And there's like all these guys standing there. There's dudes with bicycles, and there's like these two boys with freaking horses. And the horses are hot, dude. Looks like they're on barrel horses.
Oh yeah, they're
shotguns slung on their backs, and as soon as it like hits that time, like all these kids take off running, and these two dudes just smoke them. And I was like, that's gonna be me and Joe Dress next year.
Oh yeah. No, that's what makes you cowboy right there.
When you get to your duck hole horseback, you're a freaking cowboy. Be you, me, and Zach.
Yeah.
Zach be in.
Yeah. Yeah, no, down there, it's a different experience from around here for sure. A couple of the places we went, you couldn't enter before a certain time. I mean, we didn't go to none that you had to get to by horseback or foot or bicycle. We could always drive the side-by-side up to it. Or we did have a boat race the last day I was there, hunting there. But, yeah, down there, we did have I had to foot race the one day. Well, I didn't really foot race because I knew I wasn't going to beat no one on four-wheeler side-by-side. But, I just pulled up, and I just kind of sat there, waited for everyone to get to where they're going, and then I hustled to my spot. But yeah, down there it's just a different game. Honestly, horseback would probably. I mean, I don't know what the laws are there, but the place I went, you couldn't drive your side by side through the water. I mean, if you wanted to run your horse, maybe that was legal.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, I've watched that video. I'm like, we got to do this.
Oh yeah, that was definitely in Arkansas. I'm not really sure where it was because I never went to no place like that, but
yeah,
probably ain't a place far from it.
Yeah,
from where I was.
But in general, I mean, people will plug your social media and stuff at the end, but people can look at your social media. You guys beat them up pretty good. I mean, compared to here anyway. So if you're from a different state or whatever, Pennsylvania sucks when it comes to waterfowl, dude. There's just enough guys that are trying to do it, and there's not many birds. And I feel like everyone thinks that we have them, but not that I've found. I mean, we kill birds, but we're scratching birds.
You got the Susquehanna River, and I think there's a river out in western PA that I hear a lot of good about. But
Allegheny? Maybe
the Monongahela. Is that what it's called?
Oh.
It starts with an M. It sounds like Monongahela.
There is a Monongahela.
But yeah, around here definitely isn't what some people may think it may be.
Yeah. No, it sucks. I mean, we got wood ducks. There's so many dudes, especially out west, that, like, I feel like are jealous of us killing.
Well,
they think it's so cool, and we're like, dude, we grew up jump shooting wood ducks in your backyard.
Yeah. Well, the thing was, I went out to Arkansas, and, we kill a fair amount of black ducks here on, the eastern side of the United States.
Yeah, once we figured it out. If we get cold enough weather, we get them anyway.
Yeah. But, the mallard and black duck ratio are probably about the same. You probably see just as, or maybe even more black ducks at some points. But I went down there to Arkansas, and I took my black duck decoys with me because I thought
they had them.
I thought they had them. And I got out there, and my buddy's like, "What'd you bring those for?" And I was like, I figured they'd help. And he's like, dude, that's like probably shooting a pintail out by you, shooting a black duck here.
Yeah.
And you go look at them impoundments and all that stuff, and you don't see a black duck out there. Yeah, they're lost if they're out there.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the black ducks are definitely like an East Coast species.
Yeah, they get a lot of them down in Maryland. Yeah, I went and hunted Maryland. Well, you have too, but I hunted Maryland 2 years ago now, and we saw pretty much all black ducks, no mallards.
Really? Yeah, when I was in Maryland, I don't think we saw a single mallard. We saw like 2 black ducks, but we saw, I mean, divers like you wouldn't believe. Redheads and a couple canvasbacks, a lot of bluebills, and a pile of buffleheads, which we get buffleheads and stuff too. But yeah, I don't know. PA's interesting, and it sucks. I just want to go hunt somewhere else. I mean, you were telling me that like you guys could have just shot your teal limit like every day pretty much if you wanted. You were trying to hold off and shoot big ducks, and like here, took them guys on that veteran hunt and working some mallards, and we have like a 6-pack of green wings just dump in. I'm like, shoot the teal. And I mean, they were all fired up about it too, but like we don't hardly have teal, it seems like.
Yeah, it's a world of change out there. Yeah, I think it was 16 hours from here I drove.
You're probably about right.
But yeah, it's crazy. I got down there and smothered in birds.
Yeah. We're in the wrong state for that.
Yeah. PA has a little bit of everything, but a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah. Well, dude, this is something else, too. Like, we have the second most hunters in a state. The only state we're behind is Texas. And the size of Texas compared to the size of Pennsylvania is stupid. Yeah. So, like, and that was only a couple years ago. Pennsylvania had the most hunters of any state. Like, Texas just surpassed us, as far as I know. But yeah, like, there's a ton of hunters. I mean, there's a decent amount of public land. There's a lot of private land, but you kind of got to know someone good enough or, have a connection to be able to get on it. But yeah, it's tough. Now they're starting to lease stuff, especially down like towards Lancaster, where they do get some more birds, especially like geese and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
They just killed the Canada limit again. Went from 3 to 1. Well, it's proposed, but
yeah,
it's another one bird per man limit again.
And that's what's even crazier to me. Like, who wants to pay a couple grand for a lease, and you can shoot one goose
Exactly.
a day, but it better be a good lease.
Well,
And even then, like, waking up that early, setting a spread, like, that sucks to shoot one. Which, granted, there's a lot of days where I'd be really happy if we could kill a goose apiece.
definitely.
But then you can't have days like the last day of the season we had this year. That was freaking greasy, dude. You're good. But, yeah, I mean, it would just suck. I mean, it sucked that we had a 5 bird limit that day, dude.
Definitely.
Like,
before we even got the countdown and that flock was working, it's like, how many are we shooting?
yeah.
2 for insurance.
No, I feel like part of me died when we had a 4-pack. We needed 1 bird and a 4-pack lands in the decoys, and it's just like, well, who wants to kill the last one?
Yeah.
But I guess I shouldn't say that. We knew exactly who had how many birds. And you were the one with 4, so you got to kill the last one.
Yeah.
But
On that last one, I literally thought about, I'm glad I didn't do it because I didn't know anyone was backing me up. I thought you guys were all just like, oh, Joe's left side, Bird's left side, let him do it. I was literally thinking about just shooting like 20 foot in front of it to make you guys go, what the F? And then pounding it. But I'm glad I didn't do it because
we probably would have shot too many then.
There was backup somewhere in the line.
Yeah, I didn't even have my hand on my gun, but yeah, there was 2 more guys in the blind that were itching. Yeah, dude, I don't know. We can talk waterfowl stories all day, probably.
We could probably
Or, I mean, we could talk even longer. We start getting into deer and turkey and everything else. But
talk till the sun comes up.
yeah. I don't know. You were saying you wanted to talk about...
Oh, yeah, Kansas. Going back to like the 1 bird limit and, people wanting to pay $1,000 for a lease or whatever. Kansas is like talking about making the non-residents only be able to hunt 3 days a week.
Yeah, that's right. We did talk about that the other day.
And it's, the dumbest days of the week, like Monday or Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Like days that people would be heading out from Kansas.
Yeah.
And
that's across the board out there, right? That's everything.
Yeah.
They want to move to that.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if I was just for waterfowl or even if I was just for public land. Like, if you got a guide, maybe you could hunt all week or...
Yeah.
But...
that would hurt the guides bad, too. Like, really bad.
If that's how it was. No, it didn't really state because it got shot down because it
would
hurt the
pull
economy,
so much money, yeah.
Like, that's what... Some of them, like Arkansas... You go to Arkansas right now, state's a shithole. Like, the only thing good in Arkansas is they produce the most rice and
the most ducks.
The duck hunting's good.
Yeah.
Not to crap on Arkansas because it was a fun state, but...
Yeah, we'll show up next year. The big guy's waiting for us because you said that.
Yeah, for being an out-of-stater and the stories I heard, I made out pretty good down there. But that's because I was running around with Arkansas native, and he really, he had, you go down there from Pennsylvania, you're the one with the accent down there.
Yeah.
And Yeah, he'd do all the talking, and then he'd be like, yeah, my buddy from PA. And they're like, holy hell, PA. I'm like, yeah. But, yeah, that was experience down there.
Yeah. We should plug this. If anyone listens from another state that has a lot of ducks, hit us up.
Yeah.
We'll come hang out.
We got a goose trailer. I got a boat.
We got pretty much everything.
Yeah.
Between the two of us. You got more than I do, but we don't have snow geese spread anyway.
Nope.
But we don't really get snow geese. Not in our part of PA anyway. Eastern PA gets them.
Yeah.
But
that's another thing. I went down there and, they're not like deep into the Midwest. I mean, they might be considered Midwest. I think it was like, I looked it up because I was just curious how close I was to Texas.
yeah,
That's another destination state. I'd love to go to Texas. I looked it up. I think I was like 5 hours from Texas. So I guess they could be
yeah. I mean, also depends where in Texas
Midwest,
you're talking.
maybe. I don't know. But rodeo down there is,
it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening down there. Like, I almost took my bullfighting vest down there with me because my buddy told me, he's got a bunch of guys down there that they're on bulls every week.
Yeah, I mean, that's even when I was supposed to go to Missouri. Like, you start getting into any of those states, like in whatever we learned in elementary school, Mimel. The little dude, you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah.
You start getting into that kind of country, like, it's starting to pick up. Like, you're starting to get into more cattle country, and there's definitely more rodeo and all that stuff going on. But yeah, especially Texas, like, it's happening.
You're in there.
Yeah, dude, it's happening.
In there like swimwear.
Yeah. But what was that?
That's a dead deer right there.
That's what it sounded like.
Probably couldn't hear a gunshot out here in Royal, Pennsylvania.
At 11 p.m. Whatever time it is. Yeah, I don't know. You got any other hunting stories or shit you want to talk?
Man, I could talk all day about rodeo, hunting. We could start off with me and you. I mean, we got connected in like 4th or 5th grade, getting sat together at a table. And
4th grade, dude. We were trading paper footballs for silly bands.
Yeah, the hustle.
The hustle.
Yeah, me and Isaac, we've been, I think the first time we ever hunted together was a dove hunt. I got into dove hunting.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I was just talking to you about it or whatever. And the one day I just said, hey, you want to come dove hunting? You came over, and I think we sat for a little bit. We had like a flock of doves fly over, and we're like, shit. Should have shot them.
Yeah.
And then we went walking. We shot a couple doves. Then it was probably that year. I got into duck hunting by myself. I've shot a couple ducks, and then I think I asked you, you want to go duck hunting? And same thing, we went out and sat. We might have got a couple shots, but didn't hit nothing. I was like, let's go take a walk.
Yep.
We went up, shot our first wood ducks together. I think I shot, I don't know, I don't think I shot a wood duck before.
I feel like you definitely did, because the first one I killed, you didn't shoot. You just had me shoot.
Well, I think I let you shoot because I didn't know they're wood ducks. I thought I shot meriganders.
Oh.
And stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel, as far as I remember.
Dude, I'll never forget this. You're like, shoot them. I'm like, they seem like they're really far. You're like, no, you're good. Dude, they had to be 60 at least. It was
probably, but I didn't care. There were ducks on the water, and we had guns.
We also didn't know any better, but just hammered into them. I remember being like, man, like they're all still flying. My gun's empty, and then one of them just inverts and dives into the water. Which, if you've duck hunted long enough, you've probably seen that now, where like you put a BB in one and they can keep flying
And
for a
their
minute, and then all of a
lungs
sudden they like bleed out and die in the air.
Yeah.
Was that the one where you like took off to go get it too, and you ate shit
Dumped
and
it
dove
into the
head
creek?
first into the creek?
Yep.
Totally submerged the gun, the whole deal.
Yeah. And I think that was a flock of 5. You dropped the first one. There was 4 left. I think
We came back. You
Well,
emptied your gun out, cleaned it.
I think walking up the creek, we shot 2 or 3
Three.
more? 3 more?
I dropped 2 and you dropped 1. So there was 1 left that got away.
On the way back down.
On the way back. Yeah. And that's how the addiction started.
Yeah. And then I think we did that again the next weekend. We shot another. We went out to the river. It was sketchy to go on the river with the boat we had. The 12-foot canoe with the trolling motor. And then we went to a pond, saw a couple ducks, nothing. Then we went back to my house, and then we snuck up on the flock. I think we jump shot 5.
Dude, I remember that. Like the first couple years we hunted, I feel like we couldn't hit a limit. We killed 5 every time.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's where I was going with it. It was pretty much anything me and Isaac did in life. We pretty much put each other on, and then now we're here at rodeo.
Yep.
Rattlesnake hunting. We talked about that earlier, but my buddy Craig, he got me into that, and then he couldn't do it or whatever. And I was like, "Hey, Isaac,
Yeah.
venomous snakes? Want to play with them?"
Yeah.
And we were out there in our muck boots and a cheap pair of tongs that I bought.
Yep.
And we went up the mountain. The road was closed, so we had probably a mile walk in.
Dude. Yeah, but if you count vertical feet, it was probably 5 miles.
Yeah.
That hike was brutal.
But we found snakes.
We did find snakes.
So you can't be mad at me.
I wasn't, dude. It was a good time. Until I realized how easy that walk is when the road's open. I was like, dude, you gotta be kidding.
I didn't have no other spots.
We should start taking horses.
Yeah, I've always thought about that too, but I don't know.
I thought about going up in Benazet. You hear about people seeing them all the time. I'm like, dude, I should buy a pair of the collapsible tongs. But you have a pair now, but
Yeah.
you can toss those in saddlebags and just have them.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. It's not cool to snake hunt. Don't do it.
Don't do it unless you watch my videos on Sherman's Creek Outdoors.
Plug.
Snake hunting. There's a lot of people that really respect the snakes and will get mad at you, tear you apart. They'd probably throw you in a snake den if you try to harm the snakes.
Well, yeah, I feel like that's the biggest thing. I don't care if people do it. And we're joking around the whole gatekeeping thing regardless about all of it. But, yeah, it doesn't bother me at all, dudes that do it right. But learn how to handle one so you're not hurting one. And, if you keep one here and there, whatever. But don't be I don't know. The amount of guys that know that I snake hunt, and they're like, oh, we kill them all the time at our farm. We see a snake, it's a dead snake. I'm like, dude, really? Come on.
Seriously?
And everyone thinks they're bad. Maybe we should do this. Public service announcement. They want nothing to do with you. I feel like people think that they're out to bite you. They're going to chase you down. You watch Lonesome Dove and you see the moccasin attack. That ain't the case. I mean, moccasins seem like they're assholes, but I haven't been around them. But, we got timber rattlers and copperheads. Copperheads are a little more pissy, but even they just want to get away, and timber rattlers want nothing to do with you. They just want left alone.
Yeah.
Even when you handle them, dude, every now and then you get one that, its personality is it's looking to strike a little bit more, but they don't want nothing to do with you. They're chill. And, I mean, if you're around it, you see guys that handle them, and you're way more ballsy than I am with that, picking them up. But, if you're calm and cool and handle them right, they're just chilling.
Yeah. Yeah, the flag, don't tread on me, is the rule of thumb.
Yeah, pretty accurate.
Yeah. Like, no snake's going to bite you for walking by them, but if you're going to mess with them, you're going to get it.
You remember that one you almost stepped on? We were coming down off the mountain.
Oh, my God. That was that day. I think that was the first time me and you snake hunted.
It might have been.
Or, one of the first times.
It was definitely one of the
I feel like
first.
it was the day we had to walk back because the road was closed.
And we were up on that power line.
Yeah. And, we were all pumped up from finding our first venomous snakes together. What, like 6 rattlesnakes, copperhead, 2 copperheads?
Something like that.
But, we're walking our happy asses down the mountain, and next thing you know, I take a step, and I'm jumping 6 feet in the air like, oh, there's one.
Yeah. No, we literally, he's basically on the trail at that point. The rock he must have been under when we went up was directly beside the trail. And you couldn't have been more than a couple inches from him, and he never even tried to hit you.
Yeah.
He just buzzed when you got that close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They're so cool. I got so much respect for them things.
Oh, yeah. They're, there's something you gotta learn to appreciate for sure.
Yeah.
Because honestly, if you asked me 10 years ago or so, I don't know, whenever I was growing up, I was the same way. Any snake.
Dead snake.
Yeah. The only good snake's a dead snake. And then, my buddy got me into it. You just learn that they're not out there to get you.
Yeah.
That's just another thing is, obviously rattlesnake hunting. It's got their dangers. It can kill you. And, and then I get into bullfighting, and people are like, you're just a nut. And I'm like, well, rattlesnakes can kill you. Bulls will kill you. Want to kill you.
Yeah. Some of them anyway. No, I don't know. Whenever you started, and I feel like people were like, he's kind of wild. I'm like, dude, have you met this kid? I'm like, the bullfighting makes so much sense to me, having known you for so long, because I said it a little bit, early on, you're an athletic dude. We played sports the whole way up through together and shit. And
yeah. On your dad's baseball team.
Yep.
At 12 years old.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah, I don't know. We played midget football together, high school football together. Literally played sports the whole way up through. And especially in midgets, dude, you were a stud. I mean, granted, in midgets, we were the younger of our class, so we could play down a year. So
for some reason, we were able to play down, but we were still the size of the next year up.
But I don't know. I remember you being there was no one you couldn't run down. Defensive linemen from the opposite side of the field could tackle a running back, the tailback across the field. I was like, this dude. Which it wasn't as dramatic in high school, but you could still hang with a lot of dudes in high school, and you were sending double backflips on a trampoline and shit like that. So I'm like, you got this dude that is that athletic, and also we're rattlesnake hunting and stuff at that point. And I'm like, also loves adrenaline to this level. I'm like, it kind of makes sense for this kind of guy to want to fight bulls.
Yeah. Honestly, it was probably just a matter of time until I found it.
Yeah,
it was always I don't know. Honestly, my love for adrenaline probably came whenever my parents let me jump off a 30-foot cliff whenever I was 10 years old.
Race town.
Yeah, that's what every time someone asks me about it, that's what it comes back to is I was so yeah, I can say I was probably scared in that moment.
Yeah,
but whenever I finally did it, it was do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again. And, it just kind of rolled from that, I guess.
Yeah. It's trippy to me thinking about how people have different tolerances for, I guess it's just a risk tolerance thing. Maybe. I don't know. Or I'm trying to think how I want to say this, but I like doing a lot of the same kind of stuff, the rattlesnake stuff. I'm cool with that. I got on rough stock, but I was never that kid growing up that's let me just build a makeshift ramp and send it. You know what I mean? Like, there was always that part of me that's like, I really don't want to get hurt. But, you know, played contact sports and all that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's like a weird balance. I feel like some people are just wired different where there's like, I don't fucking care. I won't get hurt. Like, someone else might, but I'll be fine. And I'm like, I'll like watch someone else do it and be like, that looks cool. I'll finally do it. I'm like, all right, that was kind of cool, but I don't know if I need to keep doing it because I know at some point I'm going to get jacked up.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how to describe that because, like, I don't know. You talked about cliff jumping. And I haven't really cliff jumped, but we've been to some like crazy rope swings. I was just going to get to that.
Bull rope.
Like, yeah, we grew up going to, I don't know, everyone called it bull rope, but big rope swing on the creek just down from your house that you grew up in anyway. And, you know, I got to the point where I'd send a backflip off that thing, but I don't know. You were more wild on that thing. You do the wrap around, as we called it, take the rope off the other side and send it way out. And
I will give you one thing. I've only ever done one backflip off of it, and it was never as clean as any of yours.
Really?
Yeah, don't you?
I feel like I didn't know that. I figured you were doing backflips off it too.
No, dude. Screw that. I'm scared of water.
All right, we got him figured out now. Found your weakness.
Yeah, you won't find me fighting no bulls in a pool or.
I don't know how that would go. Might be easier if you're good in the water anyway.
Yeah, I mean, 4 beats 2 every time, but in the water, I guess you're using all 4 a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man, I don't know. We kind of spiraled there, but I feel like it was good.
Yeah. We go back to the leg thing. I always tried to keep myself humbled, but I knew I was kind of like gifted. And like that's kind of what drove me towards bullfighting too. Was like knowing I was fast and knew I could jump.
Yeah.
And you know, that kind of drove me towards that direction was adrenaline and being athletic and being able to do all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if you're looking at it from the outside, like just rodeo in general, and you have that kind of, you know, background or base, and be like, okay, like you said, I'm pretty fast. I can jump. I like adrenaline, so you're already probably thinking more rough stock. Not that there's not adrenaline in the other stuff, like there is, but it's a different kind of deal. And look at the events, like the bullfighting just makes sense.
Yeah. Although being fast can.
Straight line fast doesn't save you anyway.
No, not at all. And there's no one. I mean, maybe Usain Bolt could outrun a bull. I don't know what they've ever clocked a bull at on a straight line 100-yard dash,
Yeah,
100-meter dash. But yeah, no. Sometimes quickness can kill you in bullfighting. I've learned that. Especially bending. There's no way you're full sprint and bending a corner.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the only way you're getting past a bull
yeah,
is beating him into his corner.
yeah. I just Googled it, and it says the top speed of a bull is generally considered to be around 35 miles an hour.
Okay,
That's hauling, dude.
Usain Bolt, I think he's around 34 miles per hour. I think that's what I've Googled before.
Where's our Jamie?
Fact check.
Jamie to fact check us.
Yeah. Aside from Usain Bolt, before I even started, one thing I should go back on is one thing before I even started working at Rocky, before I even started bullfighting was my second rodeo I ever went to was up there, and I didn't realize it till like the year before I started working there. Before I started pulling gates, loading bulls or whatever. But, I went up there and I watched one of their rodeos and I feel like you guys got into it before I realized I was there. But I went up there and I watched Austin Ganley bullfight, and yeah, that's one thing that I think's pretty cool is now me and Austin, we fight pretty regularly there, and
yeah, you go from watching it and being like, shit, that looks cool, to like doing it with the guys.
Yeah,
especially like if you just watched them and stuff, you're like, oh, like, I don't know, it's like you put them on a pedestal almost, and then when you're doing it with those guys, you're like, oh, they're just like a dude. But it's cool to like be there and like, oh, I'm that guy to some other dude now, or like some kid is looking at you like you're like their hero, and you're just like, nah, I'm just a dude.
Yeah. Yeah. You definitely like, I always try to stay humble, but I definitely know there's people out there watching me, like, want to be in my spot, but I try not to let that get to my head. But
yeah,
it's a good feeling though.
Yeah, no, it's what you do with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like if you know that and you do good stuff with it. I mean, like you said, like you got a bunch of guys into bull riding, like local here. You know what I mean? Like you're doing good stuff with it, getting guys into the sport and all of it. That's
where I was going. Like I try never to be that guy where it's like, I'm out here, you're in there. Like, if you want to be out here, come talk. Yeah, I will more than gladly help you.
Yeah,
get to where you want to be. Especially because I was that guy once.
Yep.
Sitting in that crowd, like, how do I get there?
Yeah.
No,
I feel like that's what's extra cool about, I mean, a lot of the people I've had on, like, did not grow up in it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, hearing their stories and, like, they had these people help them, but then when you're that person, like, you're more, like, way more open to trying to help somebody.
Definitely.
And I'm not saying that the guys that grew up in it or whatever are bad or anything, but they don't know any different than what they grew up with. Like it's easier for someone that didn't grow up in it to relate to someone that also didn't grow up in it, and you want to help them more than someone else. You know what I mean?
But, oh yeah.
But yeah, dude. Unless you got anything else.
I mean, like I said, we could talk for hours, but
yeah. People's attention span only lasts like 3 seconds anymore, so they probably already turned this off.
Yeah, TikTok ruined that. 10-second video. 10-second podcast is about all you get anymore.
Yeah. That's why when I look at all the metrics on everything, they're so bad. It's like average person listens for like 2 minutes maybe, I think.
Although YouTube did add a thing, if you hold your thumb on like the one side, it will
speed it up.
So if there's a video where I'm like, this is kind of useless, I listen, but
like
speed it 10x.
Yeah. But yeah, you want to plug any social media? I mean, you already plugged the old YouTube channel. There's some old stuff on there, dude.
I took some stuff down because
it's probably for the best.
Uninformational. I mean,
misinformation.
If you want to see it,
DM.
Yeah, get at me. Maybe if I decide to get back into YouTube, but YouTube, Sherman's Creek Outdoors. Instagram, JoeyDress69. That's all. That's all. That's everything now.
Yeah.
But that's about it. If you're interested in getting in the sport, for sure get at me. Even if you're from a different state, I'm sure I can help. I've been around now. I know a couple stock contractors and stuff from bordering states, and
yeah. Shoot you a DM on Instagram, or I mean, people can reach out to me, give both of us a follow. The podcast has an Instagram, The Western Blend, and if you haven't subscribed, like, comment, do the deal. the stuff that everyone says and no one does. Hit the notification bell.
Yeehaw.
Y'all. All right, we'll catch y'all on the next one.